In the next 12 minutes, in this TED Talk, I am going to take you on a sexual journey. Now, let me tell you what it means in sexual terms. If you're a woman, you may not even have time to experience a single orgasm. According to research, the average time it takes women to experience orgasm following adequate sexual arousal during intercourse is 13 minutes and 41 seconds. So it seems like we're missing 1 minute and 41 seconds. Now, if you're a man, in 12 minutes, you may be able to experience 2. Or can you? According to research, the average time it takes men to experience orgasm from the moment of penetration and until ejaculation is 5 minutes and 4 seconds. However, you may feel tired after the first one because men have what we call refractory period. In simple words, the time a man needs to recover and recharge his batteries in order to turn it on again. Before I continue to talk about sex, let me introduce myself. My name is Shelly Varod. I'm a certified sex therapist, lecturer, and entrepreneur in sexuality and sex tech. Surprisingly, one of the fastest growing industry in recent years. We live in a time that calls for innovation regarding the way we learn about our sexuality. When content is available to us on demand through the internet, it is not always clear that the information we read about sex is too general and not necessarily tailored to our sexual preferences and abilities. There are endless of articles about sex on websites, online magazines, and social media. They have attractive titles, such as How to Last Longer in Bed, or How to Have a Better or Stronger Orgasm, and even How Often Should Couples Have Sex in a Week. Titles like this, in a sense, attract us to read the articles because we are seeking for approval. Yet we may not realize that they mainly focus on sexual performance in a goal-oriented way. Titles like this, which are very common, in a way implant ideas in our mind about how sexual intercourse should be. Moreover, pornographic videos, which are readily available online, help support these ideas. Those videos create unrealistic expectations, leading us to believe that the vocal or physical responses we see represent pleasure during sex. Those videos, in many of them, women show pleasure by being very vocal, when in reality, women who highly enjoy sexual activities may show pleasure in a much more subtle and lower vocal response. And just like a plot in a movie script or a novel, we are also exposed to a specific way, to the way things should occur. Something happened. The action is rising. We hit the climax and then resolution. While there are many more ways to write a story, when we think about sex, we tend to view it with one primary leading sexual script. Let me show you what I mean. We meet someone we find attractive. We may even be in love. We receive a clear message that they want to have sex, which entails the need for sexual consent. We then initiate our first sexual move, which can be a kiss. We continue with what we call foreplay, which may include caressing, kissing, touching, massaging, and maybe even oral sex. Then we start real sex. We tend to spice it up a bit with few sexual positions. 2, 3, tops. We then reach the highest excitement level, the orgasm. And we're out. In the last few years, I received hundreds of messages from people who sought help as they felt that something in the sexual script differed from what is expected. Just like my client who seek help at a sexuality and relationship clinic. Anna, a 26-year-old woman, came to see me because she lost her sexual desire. Few minutes after the session started, she looked at me and said, "Please help me. I can't reach orgasm from penetration." She looked down. Her voice was soft, and tears appeared in her eyes. I could see how much this affected her as she couldn't connect to her sexuality. Josh, a 38-year-old successful businessman who identifies as gay, came to see me because he couldn't form a serious relationship. He dates a lot, yet every time it gets close to a sexual place, he feels insecure. When I asked him what led to his insecurity, he tensed up and whispered that he comes too fast. Josh's inability to control his ejaculation impacted his male identity and led him to avoid altogether sexual and romantic relationship. Maria and Dave, who are both 65, have been married for 30 years and have 3 kids. They stopped having sex since they claimed it takes Dave too long to get an erection, and sometimes it doesn't last during the intercourse. They had desire to have sex with one another, yet they assumed they couldn't enjoy sex without penetration. The common sexual script can work great for some, but it challenges many as it often fails to acknowledge our natural responses and sexual preferences. When I told Anna there was nothing wrong with her sexual response, she looked at me with big, wide eyes and she smiled. According to research, most women experience orgasm from external stimulation and not through penetration. Besides, the only job the clitoris has is pleasure. And most women experience pleasure by direct or indirect stimulation to the clitoris. Penetration can be a pleasurable act, as it can connect two people from emotional and physical perspective. Nevertheless, once we attach a goal to it, such as orgasm, our thoughts and action are going towards that goal, and it distracts us from being present in the moment and connect to what we feel. Do you remember the time I said it takes men or women to experience orgasm? All right? This is it. So we all remember it. It is great. Now, please, let's all forget about it, because avoiding measurement can improve our ability to enjoy sex. Men who tend to think of premature ejaculation as the inability to pleasure others are excited to learn that there are multiple ways to pleasure other people. When the foreplay becomes the main play, ejaculation time will be less stressful. Besides, a good sexual experience doesn't rely only on penetration, as I explained to Maria and Dave. It is also vital to learn that over the years, our sexual responses are going to change. Yet, we can still have sexual desire and enjoy sexual touch. Anna, Josh, Maria, and Dave are, of course, not my clients' real names, but they represent the most common scenarios and difficulties I see at the clinic. A good sexual experience has a huge impact on our self-esteem, mental health, and relationships. Because we all value these benefits, it is time to look at sex through a new lens. And surely, we have the ability to do that. Today, when everything in our life becomes personalized and technologically, from our shopping to sport and music, we have also achieved the ability to apply this technology to our sex life. Personal and sexual behavioral program created by apps that apply smart technological tools such as artificial intelligence and, of course, personalization. When you sign to an app that applies these tools, you're able to receive information about topics the app finds most interesting for you, or that you might want to read about to improve your sex life. Let's take, for example, you recently experienced a low sex drive and you wish to improve it. The app can identify what you experience by asking you few questions about your sexual experience, your core needs, and about you. You will then receive insight with information about sexual desire, as well as recommendations about programs, reading materials, and video that will be right for you. Just imagine you can have a personal profile on a sexual wellness app, and that just like Netflix, it will match you with programs. Only in this case, they will be related to your sexuality to help you create your own personal sexual script. I hope it excites you as much as it excites me.